Hello and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. We're starting in a little bit different of a spot right now because I'm actually in a new terminal. We're sitting in Seattle, and I just went ahead and bought a new terminal after I ended the last episode. I had to drive down there from where we were. Um, it's the same general basic uh, model as the one in Wichita, but this is going to be our stopping point for all points west. This is going to be our jumping off point. Uh, but we are going to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to see what kind of loads we can get out of here. And it looks like we've got one. We're actually going to be working our way back to Wichita because I want to go ahead and not only upgrade that terminal again, but also look at hiring another driver. So by the time we get to that point, we'll be able to do that. We'll base them out of Seattle here, and we're just probably going to end up using, for the time being, we're going to use the Wichita terminal to store the older trucks that I drive or my personal vehicles. But we're going to go ahead and take this mobile crusher. We've hauled one of these before, but we're going to take this to Twin Falls, Idaho. It's a valuable cargo. Yeah, I can talk. Um, Standard delivery, heavy cargo, and articulated trailer. Well, we're going to see how this does with our truck. Now, it shouldn't be too difficult to do because we're pretty well set up for, heavy cargo. So we may struggle just a tiny bit, but I don't see really too much issue. Famous last words, right? Look at what happened with the Pete. So we're gonna go ahead and start this run here, and we're gonna go ahead and get rolling. And I'm gonna check. Whoops. I don't need to do that. I need to check my lights. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get rolling. We're gonna start on out. And I'm going to adjust my chair here real quick. There we go. Let's see if I can't micro adjust everything to make it all work better for the videos that I'm recording here. So we're just going to head on out here, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right on out. Let them go by. I knew they were there. Not really, but you get the idea. Okay, my chair isn't going to work here. Okay. Small adjustments here and there. It's not a perfect setup. I think I've said this a couple of times. I got to tear this down and build it up every single time I get into this game. I would like to have a more permanent setup, but I don't have a desk to accommodate for that. I've just got this one that was given to me probably about 10 years ago, and it is slowly falling apart, so I'm just making do with what I've got. And it looks like we're going to stay in this lane. But yeah, after my last episode, I went ahead and came down here to Seattle, found a decent spot, and bought the terminal. So that'll give us a good jumping off point. It'll give us a new way to or a new place to put drivers in, and we can go from there. So that won't be any problem at all. We've got ourselves a foothold on the West Coast now. And I'll be honest with you, I have no idea where I just screwed up. If I screwed up. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was lucky and this just works. I think I did. I think I did make it right. Good. No, not this one. Next one. Although it looks like there's another... Yeah, there's another terminal right there that we could buy. That's alright. We don't need to buy it right now. That'd be about the only way we have, or the only money we have to spend, you know, is buying terminals and hiring drivers here before too very long. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For the most part, though, we're gonna be just doing our own thing, and I'm gonna find out after I hire drivers, or after I start hiring drivers, whether or not I can set them on a regular route. Any day now, Light. Come on. Because if they've got a regular route that I could set them on, that would make managing them a little bit easier. But that's neither here nor there at this exact moment. We're still 3 or 4 episodes away from that point. Come on, Light. Thank you. And we'll get up here. Now it looks like we're going to turn right in here. Just like that. All right. Yep, there's our load. That one's going to Coeur d'Alene, but it don't pay half as much. So we're going to take this one. And we're going to see how we do. I'm going to go around this building. I think ours is on the back side here. I think it's on the back side. Yep. All right. And we'll get it. We'll get the truck turned around and hooked up. That won't be too difficult. Just make sure that we don't cause any major problems. Oh, yep, that hurt. Okay, straighten up my wheel so I can actually see. Well, I wasn't expecting to cram the thing. Okay, so we're gonna go into our navigation map here real quick, and we're gonna see, because we've got a full clock, we can make quite the trip, and it looks like we're gonna be interstate most of the way. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're gonna be interstate most of the way. We're gonna get there in one stop or one trip, so we won't have to worry too much about that. Shoot, doesn't look like we've got a scale. Well, the only thing we've got in terms of a scale is that on the highway. So we're kind of screwed in that respect. But it looks like we're interstate most, if not all of the way. So I don't see any issue regarding time loss. We may have to pull in someplace to fuel up, but that won't be too big of an issue. We can make that happen and not have to worry about it. There's our new terminal, right across the street from a Kenworth dealership. So we really didn't go all that far to get this load. Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I don't know why it wants me to go back north. Maybe that's a little bit faster. I don't know. We'll actually do this. We'll route so that we go by like that. That'll save us a little bit of time, I think. Will it? 3 miles extra. I'm not too worried about that. That 3 miles is not going to hurt us. All right, so we have about 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So about, well, it's actually about 5/8, so we'll make it happen. And we're just going to creep along here in second gear. We've got to hug our outermost lane here for a minute. And we can work our way back over. Okay, that's not... Well, we've got the torque to get going in second gear. It's not what I want to do, but we can. Can't really see much. We got one Jeep coming over here. Well, he's... yeah. Can't really see anything. We'll call it good. We'll get moving here. Hopefully we don't have one of those spawn crashes. Yep, that figures. There was nobody there. Okay, if it don't fit, don't commit. I wish more people would learn that. I've seen truck drivers, I've seen cars. They all stop on the tracks. Okay. Well, it seems like the truck's going to be all right for getting moving here. But we'll find out. Hopefully we don't have... Well, I thought we had a full clock. We don't. Well, we may have to find some place along the road to pull off, but that's no big deal. Yeah, we'll find out. We all remember what happened with the Pete. So, any day now, light. Jiminy Christmas. There we go. Freeway entrance. I may have to downshift. Get a little bit more power going up this hill. Yeah, we're going to struggle just a little bit with these heavier loads, with this truck anyway. I could throw in a... I could easily throw in a 13 or an 18 speed for this truck, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. I kind of prefer the 10 speed just because it's, you know, a simpler transmission. But ultimately, that's neither here nor there right now. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I didn't realize that exit was coming up so soon, but that's all right. We'll make it happen. We'll he's hot shit to get past me, isn't he? Alright. We'll eventually get moving here. I have a very distinct feeling that if we want this thing to haul some decent loads, we're going to have to put a 13 or an 18 in. And we can do that later on. That's not too problematic for me. I've got everything unlocked for that, in that as that goes. But yeah, this is a pretty good truck so far. It may need a little bit of tweaking here and there. We've made it out this far. Now we can work our way back. Get our cruise control and chill for a while, because we really don't have an option to scale out anywhere. We'll just have to deal with it. Let's see if get in there. Alright. Yeah, we could have stayed in that lane, but no big deal. Get in there. Like I said, it's been a long time. Yeah, I only went to Seattle a couple of times when I was driving truck, but it's actually been quite a long time since I've been there, so I don't really remember the country too well, and I can't really say that I remember it very well anyway. Even if I had been there more than a couple of times in my adult life. But I actually learned to walk on the slopes of Mount St. Helens many moons ago. At least I think it was Mount St. Helens. But turn that off. For me, I think the Pacific Northwest and the Northeast, the Atlantic Northeast, is rather nice country. It's very picturesque, very beautiful country. So this is the... Oh, get in gear. Yeah, this is something that I'm used to in a 10-speed. You're hauling a good size load, and you're gonna crawl up mountains. That's something I'm very used to. But we can drop a larger transmission in here between runs. That won't be too inconvenient. That'll mean relearning the shifting pattern on this for a little bit, but that's not something I'm terribly concerned about. I'll be looking forward to, I'll honestly be looking forward to doing a little bit better than 60 through here, but we'll find out. Wait station. Are we going to get pulled in? Probably. Hey, what do you know? We can bypass it. can bypass it and just keep on rolling. That's always nice to see, huh? Okay, the speed limit is 10 mile an hour higher for cars, and yet I'm passing you. I'm passing him too. Both of them could be doing the speed limits. I'm gonna stay over in this lane for a little bit. So it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of competition with that Crown Vic. And he can do one of two things. He can either get moving or slow down. Kind of looks like we got a little bit of rain coming up, but that's not too unusual for Washington this time of year. Well, in game anyway. I know right now they're probably getting a lot of snow. I've got friends and family that live up that direction, and they're all the time sending me pictures of snow and ice. And I was talking about blizzards in a previous episode, and how I don't particularly like this. How I don't particularly like being out in the weather, but I'll be honest with you, I do love seeing the snow. It's something that I always enjoy seeing. Yep, there's our turn. That's something that I personally don't do, that I don't know if it's legal to do or not. It's just kind of a habit of mine. Is when I'm entering into a lane, like I just did back there, that merges out from the current lane of travel, I will invariably not signal to come out of that, or to come out into that lane, but I will always signal to move back in from that lane. So, for example, if this lane were to end suddenly, I would signal and move over. Whereas if I had a lane open up to me to my right, I would just move over. I wouldn't bother signaling. However, this particular lane I am not going to signal for, because we don't need to take that exit. Welcome to Yakima. Seems like a spaghetti bowl on that GPS, doesn't it? We may. We're not going to get off here, but our next one we're definitely going to have to. Well, maybe we can. It's a little bit of a drive, but I think we can manage it. We'll just get off here and go in, fuel up, and sleep. mile an hour. We're only doing 25. I think we'll manage. Turn that back off. And we'll go down. I think I gotta check this real quick because I want to be able to get into it. Yeah, we can get in through there. All right. So we'll do that. Let's come up, real nice, easy stop, and we'll go around the corner when the light turns green because apparently this guy's going straight. And we got our bypass once, so I'm not gonna worry about scaling the load this time. I don't think it's really necessary at this point. Fueling up is probably going to be a lot easier than getting this sucker backed in anywhere, so we'll see what we can do. Donut! Is that our... Can we get in there? No. Well, it was worth a shot. We can't get in there, so... I figured it wouldn't hurt to look. Piss the driver behind us off, but that's alright. It's not our problem. We've got stuff we gotta do. How do we get in here? Alright, that's how we get in here. And we're gonna go right on past the scale. And I am actually going to go ahead while we're here, and I'm going to go ahead and put that other transmission. Where are you going? You idiot. I'm going to put that other transmission in, and we're going to pull right over there and sleep. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this. We did have a little bit of damage, so we're just going to do all that. That's going to take all the damage out. And ta-da, we don't need to completely restore it. That's something that I remembered I could do. I was complaining about the Pete not being able to fix it, and the only way to do that. Yep. Okay. So it looks like it looks like the 18 is going to be about the only way we get any real extra pulling power. So we may just... Yeah, we'll leave it. Screw it. We'll leave it. And we'll go over and... Oops. We'll go over and park. Holy crap, we've got enough torque to get moving in 6th. Not really, but... We'll just coast over here. And we're going to pull up as far as we can even with this guy, because we don't want to leave our tail hanging out too much. can actually pull about there, and we'll get some sleep. That'll get us a fresh clock, and we can pull out of here and head on. I just got to figure out where to go to get out. I've had this issue before in other truck stops where you just drive around for days trying to find the way out because the way in is different than the way out, and they don't like it when you... We're going to go right under here. Probably shouldn't, but we're going to. And they don't particularly like it when you go out a different route than when you came in. Okay, well, we're back on the road. Now we should have plenty of time to get this there. I didn't look real close. Yeah, we've got about 12 hours to get it there. Stay in this lane for now, because if I'm not mistaken, our turn is up here. As a matter of fact, I think, yeah, we need to stay in this lane. So we'll go ahead and get back on the freeway here. Old boy moving. So I may end up, I'm gonna end up looking for yet another truck, and you know, this one's doing great. I absolutely love driving this one. Oh, get in there. Thank you. This one's great. Okay, I love driving it, but I do want to have something, you know, like I said earlier on, just for a little added variety. It's not really because this truck isn't good enough. This truck is spectacular. I love driving this. It's insanely easy to drive. It's smooth. I'm not having any issues at all with it. I think, you know, a little bit of extra variety would be nice. And if I'm going to start hiring drivers, I may want to put myself into something that I would be putting them into as well. Now, that said, they will probably have a more bog standard paint job than me, but you know, that's part of the life of being a company driver. Is you don't get the fancy stuff that the owners have. Yay, you can bypass. That's good. They say they're open, but they're not. Well, they are. I mean, there's never a wait station that's not open, unless there's actually physically nothing there. But they will actually show the sign as being closed more often than not, and then if they want to pull you in, it'll switch to open. And boy, if you pass it up at that point, you're in trouble. got about 7 hours. We'll be coming in. We'll still be coming in early. I can't exactly move over, dude, so you're gonna... American drivers. It's his fault. No damage was done on my part. I bet his car was totaled, though. Fucker deserved it. I have got no sympathy for other drivers. If they do stupid shit, they deserve what they get. I couldn't move over, and I don't have to yield the right of way to somebody merging onto the highway. That's their problem. They can either slow down or they can ride in the shoulder for a while. Okay, what have we got going on here that I'm about to pass? Better get your ass moving, little dude. We got a lumber hauler. Looks like he's hauling lumber. Hey, dude. Dude, you could take that to my place. I got a new barn I gotta build. Kinda, sorta. Sorta, not really, but kinda. We've got a barn at our place that is older than God, and it's slowly falling down. Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that dropped back down. We gotta wait on this guy. But yeah, yeah, I've got a barn on my property that eventually will get it tore down, or it'll fall down, one of the two. Me and my mother were talking about making me a new desk out of the wood, because it's definitely very well seasoned. Some of the original paint's on it, and that was easily 150 years ago. So, okay, now he's going to speed up. That figures. Sees me coming up behind him, and now he speeds up. Let's see if my cruise control actually got set. Yes, it did. Sweet. I was having troubles with that for the last couple episodes. And now we've got a massive slowdown once again. Everybody's slowing down. Let's all do 40 through a 70 or 65 mile an hour zone. That's brilliant. I don't know why the AI traffic does that. I swear it's just to piss me off, but I know it's not. Real life traffic does that just to piss me off. That I can guarantee you. People love to inconvenience others. Then they get all butthurt when they're mildly inconvenienced by that same person that they just spent 20 miles pissing off. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay. So, I signaled there. I don't particularly have to for something like that. I don't have to signal moving over like that, but we've got We've got slow traffic coming up here, and we're going to be crawling by the end of this. Because people don't know how to drive up mountains. I got to get my ass back over in my own lane. So like I said, when you're doing less than 40 mile an hour on the highway, you need to have your four-ways on, just as a general courtesy to the people around you. Let them know that you're not actually able to get up to speed and that they need to go around you. And people, 9 times out of 10, they will understand. I mean, it's fairly easy, common sense, general rule of thumb type stuff. But you always get that one jackass in a BMW that likes to do what this guy just did. Okay, people, can we please fucking speed up? We are putting our brakes on going uphill. That's never a good idea in a semi. Come on, dude, I'm coming over. It's white. Might eventually be able to get moving. I swear people really need to learn how to go up and down hills. Even in games where the traffic is pre-programmed, you know, it's kind of a necessity that they know how to go up and down hills, and unfortunately they don't. Shifting up here in a little bit. We are going back downhill though. Get in there, thank you. Now, you'll probably notice that I still have my engine brake on. That little light there that you just saw flash. And that is because we are, in fact, going downhill. So if I need to slow down a little bit, or I need to maintain the speed that I'm currently going, because this is a heavy load, I will just drop my foot off of the throttle. And we will maintain what we need to maintain. And we won't touch our brakes at all going down this hill. We'll manage to keep up with traffic, and we won't touch our brakes at all going down this hill, but we will be using the engine brake quite a bit. And I don't know if there are any seasoned drivers that watch these episodes or not. But guys, comment down in the comment section. Let folks know why you do what you do, because I guarantee you there are people out there that just, they think you're the biggest asshole on the face of the planet just because they're behind you. Yay, we can bypass. How nice. Either we're too fat for them, or they're perfectly satisfied with our weight. Dude, I'm doing 65. You better frickin' speed up. Of course, everybody and their brother now is going to try and pass me going through here. All because nobody could do the speed limit earlier. I learned very early on driving for night. I didn't learn this until I was with them, but I learned very early on that if you move over where it behind somebody that's just taking their sweet time to get around you, if you move over right behind them when you're trying to get back over like that, and they can't see nothing but your grill, they'll speed up. Probably won't be by a whole lot, but they'll speed up. And I know there's going to be people down in the comments, well, what if they put their brakes on? Oh, well, that's all fine and dandy. Just keep going. Don't really, please don't. But that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, if they slam on their brakes, they deserve to get hit at that point. But that will be the driver's fault. But yeah, if you slide over right behind them, they'll speed up a little bit just to get away from you. And I have found that the people that do that were deliberately taking their time to keep you from getting back over into that lane. I have seen that play out more times than I can remember. It never fails. So even in my own personal vehicle, when I'm signaling to move over and somebody's taking their sweet time to go around me, I all but take their back bumper off to get in behind them. And they end up moving a little bit faster than they thought they should have been. Now we're just going to ride our engine brake down this hill. Probably end up needing to really get moving here before too long going up the hill, but oh well. You say, well, I'm not a safe driver. No, I'm really not, but I do things, you know, I am a safe driver, but I do things that would seem dangerous. You know, jumping in right behind somebody without giving them enough room. You know, things like that. It's considered controlling your environment, in my opinion. I don't know if DOT would see it the same way, but that's the way I see it. Is if you can control your environment, you're perfectly safe. You're going to get home on time, and or alive, as the case may be. And I've seen a lot of drivers. They'll go racing around and they'll do shit that you wouldn't see them do if they were doing things legally. If they didn't believe that they were the only people on the face of the earth, they wouldn't do the stuff that they do. And then people like me, you know, I'm out here, I want to get home alive, and I may do things that aren't necessarily safe, but I can do them in a way that is safe to do. Like moving over immediately behind another person, or you know, letting the truck ride down 5-10 mile an hour over the speed limit down a hill. If it's a straight hill and there's nobody in front of me and my Jake brake's not on, I'll just turn it on when I get to a certain speed and just maintain that. And I actually had my dispatcher would night call me one time and say, "Hey, you know you were speeding?" I said, "Yeah. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have made it up the next hill." He says, "Well, just be careful next time." I said, "Yeah, I usually am." A truck driver that's plays it safe can do things that four-wheelers think is stupid, but it works. And the big thing is they're keeping an eye on 5 different places. They're keeping ahead and behind, off to each side of their vehicle, and they're keeping an eye on what's coming over their vehicle, such as bridges and things. So if you ever see a truck driver's got he's just come down to nearly a dead stop. This guy's going to cut right in front of us. Oh, how about that? He didn't. He must think he's going to go through the wait station. Nope. And we're still sitting down here at 60 mile an hour because we can't get moving any faster. But yeah, it's one of those deals where, you know, if you see a truck driver, he's crawling along with his 4-ways on, you pass by him wanting to flip him off, and he's sitting there looking up at the top of his, and he's leaned way over and he's looking up at the top of his truck. He's thinking, "Oh shit, am I gonna fit under this bridge?" And he's either doing that because he was given reason to believe that he could, and now he's starting to doubt it, or he didn't do his due diligence. And usually if it's the latter, he's just going to smack into that bridge anyway. There was a bridge in a city that I used to frequent while I was with my trainer at night that you can't get under it. Or at least you shouldn't be able to get under it, because it's marked like 12.6 or something like that, and 13.6 is the minimum height that you can go in a semi. Okay, well, it was marked 12.6, and it was scary, but you could get a semi under it. I'm not going to tell you where it is because, 1, I don't remember, and 2, somebody would probably be stupid enough to try it. They've probably since fixed the sign that said 12.6. There was only about, well, I put it to you this way. One time we went under it. We hit a bump in the road. Okay, we hit a little bit of a bump in the road. One time we went under it. This is how much that area of the road deteriorated in between the two times that we went through. We hit a bump in the road and scraped the top of the trailer on the underside of the bridge. Now it wouldn't. We're not talking major bump. We're talking. We didn't even feel it in the cab. So it wasn't a whole lot. We didn't have a whole lot of clearance. But we got it out from under that bridge and we said, okay, never again. And we didn't. We didn't go through there ever again. We went around it. Okay, so we're going to have to start looking for fuel here before too long. Looks like our exit's going to be right here. That looks like a good spot for fuel. Get it. That looks like a good enough spot for fuel. Whoa, mule. Okay. None of that traffic was there before I pulled out. Okay, so we're not going to go into Aaron. We're going into the... I say Aaron, that's how it's spelled. We're going to go in over here, because that one's not even on the map. We're going to go down here to the truck entrance. Autos only. Exit only. Screw this. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yep. That's me screwing up. That's me screwing up. You guys love to see it. We'll make this work. You see it says autos only, exit only. Where did we miss the entrance? Where did we miss the entrance? That's a good question. But we got to come in here. We got to go around the world to get turned around. And we're going to go right in here. All right. So I will be right back. All right, I am back, and that was $1,000 well spent. Let's see if we can get this thing through here. See, there's nobody there. Now, it's going to try and take us on a different route, but we're not going that way. We're going to stay on the highway, I think. Because we were highway all the way down. It's wanting to take us up around. It's wanting to take us up and around, but we're right there anyway. So we've got plenty of time to kill. And by God, I'm gonna get moving here. Watch the bubble mirror for the back of the trailer. Get in there. Oh, we're lugging it. Come on, bitch. Get moving. I'm coming over, dude. Whether you like it or not, I'm coming over. Had a guy one time, he was owner-op, driving an old Pete. Not like what we were in the beginning of this series, but, oh, I think it was an 80s or a 90s model. And, hell, for that matter, it might have been a long-nosed Kenworth, I don't remember. But, I remember what color it was, and I remember what kind of horn he had in it. This son of a bitch acted like he owned the whole world. Fucking turquoise blue. Had a train horn in it. Not like this one. But I was in, I believe it was Salt Lake City. And it was a bunch of road construction. Well, I had to merge onto the highway, and there was no way for me to just run down the shoulder and wait for an opening. So I had to merge on, otherwise I wasn't going to get that truck moving at all. And there's signs posted at every on-ramp for construction, the likes of which I was in, that say do not stop on the ramp. So I couldn't stop legally. I couldn't physically stop. So, come on. Jesus Christ. Fucking 20 miles an hour. And anyway, I started moving over into the lane. It was clear. I could move over at any point. Behind me. It was bumper to bumper traffic behind me, but I was able to move over. I had a clearing where I could. People were able to move over a little bit to let me in. But this guy comes screaming up, probably doing about 20 mile an hour over the work zone speed limit, which was, I think, 45 or 50. And moved over, forced a lot of people to either hit their brakes or stomp on the gas to get out of his way. And he moved over and come up beside me and leveled right even with me and hit his horn and dropped it into the next lowest gear and went around me like I was the problem. And you know, maybe I was, but I was doing things by the book. I was being right about it. So it's like he just got the California salute. Moved on. I got no love for people like that. Alrighty, people. Scenic overlook. We're going right over a canyon. Ain't that pretty? That is beautiful. Anybody know what canyon this is? Let me know, because I didn't bother to stop to find out. Really? Map tried to jerk the wheel out of my hand. Okay. So we are actually getting pretty close to our destination here, and this is going to be a shorter episode than typical, but not to worry too terribly much. We are going to do a second episode in this recording session, so these are going to be the typical 2 back-to-back. So you guys are going to not have to wait a week or 2 or 3 for the next recording, because it'll be ready to go when it comes time. Alright, now full disclosure, I do not know if I've got to turn right or left up here, so we're going to camp out in the curb lane. And hopefully the light will turn green soon. Nope, not soon enough. Yeah, you gotta love it when people do that. Like they can see you coming. It's kind of hard to miss a billboard like this. I'm not in too big a hurry to get moving. Looks like we're going to end up stopping anyway. Get the hell in gear. Hitting about every dang light. Looks like we are going to have to get over. And we're there. Oh, don't tell me. I see that we got to make a turn up here, so I move over, and now it looks like we should have stayed in that curb lane. That's alright, we'll let this impatient little day traveler here go first. Now, typically you're not supposed to change lanes in the middle of an intersection, but I have long since lost the point of giving a damn in this game regarding moving over in intersections. I won't continue to do that habitually, but you know, the traffic's just absolutely stupidly insistent on causing problems. So we are here at our destination. We're going to give the scales a miss, but if we take a load back out of here, that's what one we'll be using. Looks like they're putting up a truck stop of some kind, but I could be wrong. It may just be a quarry. All right. Where do you want it? Right there. All right, that'll work. We'll just jockey over a position or two and let it slide on in. we go. And with that, we are done with this episode. If you guys enjoyed what you saw on today's episode, leave a like and comment in the comment section down below if you're a professional driver, or if you just liked what you saw, if you play this game on your own and have any tips or tricks that you want to share, have any stories that you want to share, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. If you want to support the channel, just hit subscribe here on YouTube or head on over to Patreon. You'll see the address there up there on screen at some point, somewhere. I'm still working on outros, guys. Leave me alone. um, yeah, for just $3 a month, you'll be able to see all of the uncut footage for these, for for this and all of the videos that I post here on YouTube. Um, but for now, I want to say thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next one.